need a license to buy a dog.
Pop quiz, asshole.
You fuck me! I am an FBI agent!
Chicks dig scars.
What the fuck is going on?
Oh, twosome, threesomes.
Yeah.
Like Chris showed up like an hour ahead of time to just get in my way.
You weren't wearing a shirt. You only had a towel on.
It's pretty cool. Nice.
And I had the towel around my head.
Yeah. And when you walk up to you, because your stairs
you
are
have that
below,
much hair, you know, you need to keep it dry.
Yeah, your eyes are like at tummy level.
I have the perfect combination of like a 6-inch genital afro and a 1-inch penis.
Oh my
I can
gosh.
walk in public, no problems.
Yeah. You're just like, is he fluid?
Fluid?
Yeah, like gender fluid, you know? Like you
Is
can't
his penis made of fluid?
Fluid.
Is that Hollow Man?
I was about to go AI. That's a joke from last week.
episode.
Yeah.
So last week, the coronavirus broke out in the United States. This week, over half of the population is dead, but we still have 30 listeners listening to the Dumb Geeks podcast. I'm Chris Hackett.
I'm Dusty McCord.
And I'm Tip McMahon.
And we're joined by a special guest.
Shannon.
Nice, yeah.
No last name.
No last name this time. Don't
Yeah.
screw
And
it
I'd
up.
just like to tell all of our listeners that we have 10 vaccines for the coronavirus. And if you leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, you could win one.
That's right.
Hello.
Which goes into the movie that we're about to talk about, Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh my
Mnemonic.
God, you can't say it. Johnny Mnemonic.
Does it start
What
with an
does
M?
the word mnemonic mean?
It doesn't
means-
start with an M? Mnemonic.
No, it starts with an. It starts with an.
dumb.
It's an MN.
Wait, say it one more time.
M.
Mnemonic.
It's not. Wait. Maybe we should look it up. It is NM, right?
No, it's MN.
It's
but it's
MM.
pronounced mnemonic. And you've never heard of a mnemonic device?
That is it.
Yeah.
You said it. Mnemonic. I need a mnemonic
Mnemonic.
device
Mnemonic.
to memorize the pronunciation of mnemonic, because I always say mnemonic.
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 You know what? I don't think we should even talk about the movie. I think we should just talk about this word for now.
All right,
It's
let's
so
go.
interesting.
This is awesome.
I'm gonna go
Anyway.
just look it up.
While Dusty looks this up, Johnny Mnemonic, which is a Keanu Reeves movie from 1992.
95.
What? It came out 1 year after Speed.
Oh, I watched this with Amanda, and she was like, "Why does everything look like the 80s?"
Wait, I watched this with Jamie, and she was like, this movie's from the 90s, and she would not believe me over and over. She was like, this looks too shitty to be from the 90s.
Oh, I fucking love this movie. I love
thought it
the
looked good.
set
Do
you know what year it
design.
took place
I love
2021.
I wrote this down. It took place in the first year of the second decade of the 21st century.
Which is 2011,
2021.
but then they said it's 2021.
wait, it was. Oh yeah.
The first year of the second decade is 2011.
But wait.
But they
Rewind.
literally said it was 2021.
Yeah.
But
They
when
just
they're-
don't know what a second decade is.
They don't.
But when they were talking about
Yeah, the first year of a second.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
the third
I
decade.
got tricked too.
Okay, well then I noticed an error then, because the lady who, the CEO lady who put her consciousness into the ether or whatever.
Spoiler.
That happened they said that happened in 2026. So that would have
Did
been
they really?
in the future.
The movie takes place.
Maybe they meant the fourth decade.
Well, yeah. So overall, I was like, this came out before The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
5 years before
what?
The Matrix.
Only
Interestingly, his name was Mr. Smith.
Yeah, there
Johnny Smith.
And he had a port in his head.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when he got the stuff put into his brain, it was just like I Know Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so similar. I was like, well, I get why they cast him for The Matrix.
He really knows how to grit his teeth and go.
We need that.
They're like, we're ripping.
Okay, hired.
I mean, I do feel like The Matrix ripped off a lot of the visual style and stuff.
Well, they were
of this.
ripping off anime in general.
They sure were.
Oh, his fucking suit had the weirdest cut to it that was just to make him look like an anime character.
So great. I
Also-
Or
love
like
it.
his shoulders went out too far and pointed.
Yeah.
They were like 2 inches past his shoulders.
I was super confused that the opening scene is in Beijing, but everybody speaks Japanese, and I was like, wait, did I miss something?
Part of cyberpunk is that Japan has taken over the world.
It's happening.
I mean, let's start with overall. What was your 5 the best?
Do we want
movie?
to give a quick overview
Oh,
of
let's
what
give
this movie is
best
about?
overview.
Let's
do a
try
synopsis.
because I can't.
Okay, so He's named just Johnny. He's not actually named Johnny Mnemonic. He's just Johnny.
Okay, just Johnny.
Yeah.
And he has removed his childhood from his brain so that he can fit 300 gigabytes in it.
No.
80.
80
He only has
gigabytes.
80.
And as he's going up in the elevator, he
He
pulls
runs
out
a
a doubler
doubler.
and he doubles his brain to 160 gigabytes. Then he
I don't
walks
know.
in the room. They say it's 320, and he goes, "Yeah, I can fit that." And I did the math.
Wait, I just said
did the
300
math.
gigabytes. You're like, no.
You said, no, you said. What did he say?
300 gigs.
Anyway,
Looks like
well, it's a
guess how many floppy drives are in 320 gigabytes? 222,222.
What? How is that? AI.
We looked.
What
We
was
looked
that?
up how many gigabytes the brain can hold,
It's so much more than
and
that.
it's like 24 million or something.
It's petabytes.
insane.
It could hold petabytes or exabytes.
Yeah, but
Whatever
I mean,
the-
what about your childhood? How much is your childhood?
Hopefully
I don't remember
more than
mine.
80 gigabytes.
I mean, because the.
so he removed his. Wait, he
Wait,
removed
so
his
hold on.
childhood?
I was
Wait,
trying.
the memories.
Let's just.
I was trying
we
to
did this
synopsize,
last
so really
time. Let's
quick.
get the synopsis.
Really
Real quick. Okay, so he removed his childhood so that he can hold 300 gigabytes. 300 gigabytes.
80.
No,
80.
But then he did over 300. So
I
just
know.
drop it and let me finish the synopsis.
It's important
It's
that
very
it's
important.
over
show
It's
80.
is
the
about
whole
facts.
part of the plot.
It is the crux of the movie that he put in more data
These
they could
numbers
hold.
are so important.
They are.
You can't put in more than you can hold.
They
They
did.
did though.
No, he could hold it. His brain was just leaking. Anyways, let me say the story.
Just because they didn't understand how that shit works, that's what they said.
So basically, he got this shit put in his brain that had
Yeah.
some pharmaceutical company
From
knowledge in it.
PharmaCorp.
Well, because in
no
the
one in
future,
the
Creative name.
PharmaCorp wanted anyone to be cured.
Spelled with a K.
well, you just let out the big. We don't discover that till the second part of the second act.
You didn't even see the end of the movie. Let me finish. And so, as soon as he gets this stuff put into his brain, a bunch of people show up to try to kill him. He gets away. He's on the run for the entire movie until finally he gets to the right place and he broadcasts the shit out and they have a big fight and a bunch of explosions and that's
and he
the movie.
meets a dolphin. So
That was cool. I like that
Yeah,
part.
don't
that
skip
was
the
fun.
dolphin.
I mean, I love every aspect of this movie except for Henry Rollins, but I loved Ice-T. I was watching this.
Did you know that there was an extended cut for Japan?
No.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna see that.
Yeah, I
Wait,
saw
which
that
one
on-
was
You know what?
Henry Rawlings? Was he the doctor?
Oh, let me play a clip for you.
Henry Rollins is the guy from the Henry Rollins Band. He's a punk musician and a spoken word
And
artist.
I
Is he
think- I think I know
the
why he's
flesh
in this movie.
mechanic? Was
Here
he
you go.
the flesh mechanic?
Yes,
Yeah,
he's a
it
flesh
does
mechanic.
cause it.
What causes it? The
Yeah.
world causes it. This causes it. This causes it. This causes it. Information overload. All the electronics around you poisoning the airwaves. Technological
This is
fucking
basically what he does on
civilization.
stage
But we
as
still
comedy.
have all this shit because we can't
Have you ever
live
watched his
without it.
stand-up comedy?
I got bored.
He was truly the worst
I gotta say
part of the
that
movie.
that brings up
Yeah.
a good point, which is how poorly written all the dialogue in this movie
Oh, it's
is.
so
Yeah.
bad.
Wow.
There's so many sub Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners in this movie.
Yeah.
Like in one part early on, when all the people show up to kill him after he gets the stuff put in his brain, he's in the bathroom and a bald guy comes in and Keanu punches him and he says,
Hey,
knock
Baldy."
next time, Baldy.
Not a one-liner. Not a one-liner. There's no pun. There's no pun.
Well,
the
and then that
dialogue's
comes
terrible.
back. He's like, "Oh, hey, Baldy." Later on in the movie,
Yeah.
Later on, there's a part where he's arguing with the girl who's helping him.
yeah.
And she's like, "You'll die," and he's like, "Well, maybe." And then she screams. I wrote this down. She said, "If you don't, you're one dead Johnny. That's what."
So
One dead Johnny.
I want to go. I want to do. Usually we do this at the end because we touched on Henry Rollins being in a punk band. I just want to point out a weird fact that I found out about this. So first off, it's based on a William Gibson short story. William Gibson did Neuromancer. It's one of my favorite stories.
that's why it felt so
Love
much
that
like
shit.
Neuromancer.
But the director Robert Longo. Did I write that weird? Longo? Anyway, I checked his wiki. If you look at his wiki, on the top it says a painter and a sculptor. And he's responsible for Men in the Cities, which is like it's a black and you've seen him. It's black and white. It's black and white business people dancing, and his artwork is prominently featured in American Psycho. And he used to be in a punk band in the 70s, which I think is why Henry Rollins is in this movie.
Was he also in a rap group in the 80s, and that's why Ice-T is in the movie?
Which let me play.
Ice-T was good in it.
Let me play this Ice-T clip for you.
Who are you?
I'm J-Bone. I run heaven. The low-tech headquarters.
Low Tech, LOWTEK.
I gotta say one thing about this movie. So much of it was edited so slowly. Like that part,
So slow.
It was really just that clip you played was dragged out.
I was trying to edit clips down too.
Why were those people considered low tech?
Nobody knew. They had
Because they had the coolest technology. In there.
Yeah, and they were like constantly hacking
a
into the
dolphin.
main media stuff.
Did you guys see where InfoWars got their title from? It's in the title sequence of this movie. It talks about the InfoWars.
Did you see where Apple got the iPhone from?
I did see that. Oh my gosh, I had to replay it. I was like,
Wait.
did he just fucking say iPhone in
Really?
this? Yeah.
I missed that.
When the
He
scene
said,
where he's like,
I need Thompson iPhones.
yeah. I replayed it. Yes.
Oh my god, it's so great.
This movie has a lot of classic stuff in it. I actually thought like it didn't like it was so stylized, similar to Aliens, that like it still was it didn't need to look futuristic. It just needed to look like its thing, you know. And they did a good job at the way it looked. I
love the design of it. Also, the love interest, which wasn't really love interest. They just
Diz
ended up
from
making
Starship
out
Troopers.
Yes, Diz from Starship
Who's
Troopers.
done like nothing else.
Yeah, she does a lot of VO work.
I was really surprised she didn't get naked.
Me too.
Surprised or disappointed?
But I love Diz in Starship Troopers.
So after this movie ended and I made this girl that I just started dating watch it with me, which she watched the trailer and she's like, I will never watch this. And then she ended up watching it with me. She said at the end that I should concentrate on what was good about the movie.
Okay.
What was good? Let's start with that.
The first thing that I said was that I liked how dumb it was, and she said that was wrong. She suggested, she was like, you know what I like about the movie? That girl is very attractive, and he's very attractive.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I did feel like this movie was just straight up Shadowrun 3rd edition rules, which if you don't know that's
They definitely had the nano whip.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It is Coke Thumb. His Coke thumbnail. And so the main bad guy has this big fat Coke thumbnail. You see it in like a close up. You're like, that's weird. And then he goes up to the studio where Johnny Smith has just downloaded.
Let's walk through the story, right?
We just did.
I know, but let's cover it
It's weird.
after.
It's weird that he.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right that he is Johnny Smith, but he claims he's like, I'm just Johnny.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
But then he's constantly called Mr. Smith.
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
he doesn't know his last name, so I think he just.
Oh, is that
took-
what it's supposed to be? Because he
I'm
They should
deleted
have
pretty
his
called this
sure-
movie Mr. Smith
Because in
Goes to
that
Washington.
in that opening scene,
Yeah,
when he's
with the
his-
lady.
his I'm assuming $10,000 hooker or whatever.
but she says
That
she.
made me laugh so
I
hard.
Well,
When
okay,
she says, "Hey Johnny, what? Nothing.
yeah,
What was that?"
and then
Hold
he's
on. Dialogue.
But she's like just talking about how she's gonna go to the store, so it seems like
Yeah.
she's not a hooker
was
because
good.
she's coming
She's-
back.
She went to go get ice, and
And
he
he's
was
like,
like,
"We
"We
already-
already have ice."
and then it doesn't mean anything.
None
I
of
thought
it.
she was an assassin.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna have a bigger part. And
No.
and then I realized later when he went on his rant about what he wants, and he was like, "I just want my $10,000 hookers."
Oh, are you
At this part
talking
of the
about
movie-
this rant? This is it.
It's just
You see that city over there?
Oh yeah.
That's where I'm supposed to be.
I'm glad I didn't write this down. I thought about
And the
it.
garbage and the fucking last month's newspapers blowing back and
Newspapers blowing back and forth.
Last month's
would you-
newspapers.
How
During the
would you?
Infowars.
Not even
I've had it
today's.
with all this. I want room service.
so bad.
I feel like this wasn't too far away from
I
one
want
of
the
my.
club sandwich. I want the cold Mexican beer. I want a $10,000 a night hooker.
This feels like a Nicolas Cage scene.
Nicolas Cage would be so amazing in this role. Oh, he could have brought so much life to it.
Yeah, he would.
I
have.
love the part where the love
Well,
interest
let's
said
start
to him.
with the. So
Wait,
the
can I
first,
just say one thing?
All right.
I just love the part where the love interest. She said to him, you got parents and stuff? And he said, you got parents and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That
In
part
the
was
subway.
weird. Yeah, it was when they're under.
So it starts out with this maybe hooker, maybe not hooker.
Weird.
And like a lot of the women have this makeup that looks like they're from like a hair salon magazine.
I thought the prostitute in the beginning was Dizzy. I didn't
No.
think they were two different people.
They're
different
different.
people.
They're different.
It's just the makeup is so
They just
similar.
look the
Did you
same.
see that hooker and you
the
were
li-
like,
and
she's
the-
from Starship Troopers?
No, I was like, who's that woman? And then I saw Dizzy later, and I was like, well, she was from the previous scene. And then I was like, oh, wait, I recognize
Did
her.
you notice that they predicted how popular the man bun would be in the
Yeah.
third
They
decade?
nailed it.
But so she goes to get ice, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to get up and enter in my secret code and make a secret phone call. And at that
On
time,
the
I was
TV.
like, well, first off, I was like, well, they got the Alexa show. That is what we have.
Oh, when he was typing on his remote, on his
Did you notice how much
Roku remote?
hacking was just dialing phone numbers?
yeah, but I was like, well, I thought she's coming back with ice.
Nah.
Like, how far away is ice?
She, I think.
Well, why
you
wasn't
nailed
he
it.
more suspicious?
You actually got it because she was saying I was getting ice because she's just leaving. She's a
Leaving, and
prostitute.
that's how
She's
he
going
knew.
away.
Yeah.
Oh, that just makes. I'm just now getting that. I've pondered that for a while.
I thought that it was like a setup when it happened. I was like, why are you just hanging out there when this very suspicious lady is like, I'm going to get ice, and there's already ice?
That's what I thought. I thought she was an assation, not a prostitute that was
I
leaving
think
the room.
that. Yeah, he
I didn't even think
realized
she was
that
a
just
prostitute.
I want to get online. I need a computer.
so
I think you
part
want.
was so good.
I think you want this line, Tip.
I have to get online. Must be somebody I can talk to. Square this. I want to get online. I need a computer.
we've all been there, guys.
Which I just want to point out, the crux of this movie, the conflict is that he takes 3 images from the TV, which is the encryption code to the package in the back of his head.
to
And-
the USB.
which prints out on photos. He's supposed to take a copy, and they're supposed to fax a copy to.
I don't think he was
Newark?
supposed to. I don't think he was
Newark.
supposed to take
Yeah,
a
the
copy.
Free
Oh, he's
City.
not supposed to take a
because
copy.
he's not supposed to have
They're
access
supposed to
it.
hold the hard
Yeah, yeah.
copy, and they're supposed to fax a copy to Newark, which is the slowest fax I've ever seen. This guy regularly puts on VR headsets.
Although, they faxed it to an internet cafe, which was a pretty new thing at the time.
It is. It's true. But they didn't understand data in this movie at all because like, he's putting the headset on. He's seeing all the shit. That is a lot of bandwidth. But he can't send
Narrow his
3
bandwidth.
That's what they said. So, okay, you're jumping ahead.
Send a virus.
So he calls this dude and is like, oh, hey, I want to get my memories back. And the
Ralphie.
dude is like, oh, you
Ralphie.
don't have enough money. You'll have to do one more job. And so he's like, let's do
Because
this.
the price of that
Ice-T
surgery went
Ice-T
up.
had a great line about viruses. Do you remember when he
Well,
said,
let's cover it when we get to that spot of the movie. Let's
Are we
go
going
that
in
direction.
chronological
Yeah.
order?
Right
Yeah.
when he says that, he goes in the hotel and he sees those Oompa Loompa fucking twins. It makes
That's
no
racist.
sense.
So weird.
Oh, no, it's because of the.
They
That's
end up being
later on.
low-techs. But why are
Are
the
they
low-tech
low-tech?
Oompa
No, the
Loompas
twins?
there? Yeah.
The twins,
the twins are
looked-
twin girls, and I think it had triggered a memory
Are
that
they
he had
girls?
lost because when it goes back, that's jumping ahead.
Really?
Oh,
There's a
okay.
scene when he's
That was
looking-
his real.
There's
Did
a
any-
scene where his memories are like coming back. And
It's going to be really
there's twin
hard for me to
girls.
talk about this
I
movie in
missed the
chronological
entire
order.
Well, get
memory
over it.
B-plot.
No, just because I can't remember the
I
movie
think
in
that's the only
chronological
part
order,
that
barely.
I understood.
Yeah, I think it's because you have about 320 gigabytes in that head of yours, and it's starting to leak
You
out.
have brain
I
leakage. You have
erased my
24
childhood
hours.
so that I could remember this movie.
So
I erased my childhood to
So
stop crying.
he erased his childhood so he could have this implant in his head so he could be a mnemonic, which they set up at the beginning of the movie, and no
Is
one
that what
used
the
that
doubler
word.
is?
No, the doubler, no, the
Doubler didn't erase his childhood.
No,
No.
the thing that's
He
in his
had it
mind.
removed already because when he talks to Ralphie in the beginning on the phone, he wants to get
His childhood back.
memory back. But he was like,
He
"You need
wants
to
to be
do
made
one more
whole.
job because that surgery is now $1.5 million. It was
80,000
$400,000
or
or
something,
something
I thought it was
insane. I was like, that's a
interesting.
jump.
Yeah.
That in order to get into New Jersey, you had to be scanned and make sure that all of your implants were government approved.
Oh, and I wrote down what that was. He had a dyslexia implant.
That's what it's disguised as.
That's what it's disguised as. A
Yeah.
dyslexia implant, which was just like
Okay.
what? That's what you came up with.
Did anyone notice in the hotel lobby? So he's in. Where's he in? He's in Beijing.
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 And he goes outside everyone's not white. In the lobby, everyone's white.
That's a very
There's
polite
two
way
Asian
to talk
girls.
about ethnic people.
Well, I'm
They're
just
not
saying,
whites.
There was clearly like the scenes they shot in L.A.
They were
and
yellow. There was a bunch of yellow people outside.
Well,
I think that's Dusty's cue to be like, all right, that's a good point to end this episode.
I'm just saying, like, I thought that was a weird, like, he's supposed to be in a location and everyone's blonde-haired white person.
Did you like the yellow
You couldn't
face
tell
as he
them apart,
leaves?
could you?
I could. All white people look the same. I can barely tell you guys apart.
When he put on the wig and the
Yeah.
the Asian outfit, the Chinese outfit, were you just like, who's that man?
Can we talk about the guns?
was
people
that
were
him
using?
leaving?
Yeah. that was him
No,
leaving.
so he
I bet
goes.
Dusty loved their guns.
I love the guns too.
He went up. So he went upstairs and he doubles his memory with some weird technology.
just
A doubler.
it
A
says
doubler.
2x on it.
He's like, I'm gonna get me some double D's.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
Double
remember,
data.
You remember when you had like a
got-
floppy disk and you're like, I wish I could fit double the data on it. And you
punched
plugged
a hole in
doubler in
it.
it.
Well, no, you do remember you could double floppy disks.
Could you?
Yeah, you could punch a hole in old school floppy disks and then flip it over and use it
I
both
never
ways.
did that.
It was
I
an
didn't know
old
that.
trick from the 80s with the 5 1/4 inch.
Oh, with the
floppies.
5 1/4, not the 3.5.
It might have been possible. You needed a special hole punch for it.
So he goes up into the room and he's like, "You people don't look like the normal clients I normally go with." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're new to this, but we went through the right process." And they're like, "You have the right amount of memory. We need 320 gigs."
And he only has 160 free.
Man, could you imagine 320 gigabytes?
In 2021,
And he decides to do it
first year of the
anyways.
second
I think when this
decade?
movie came out, I had a computer that had an 800 megabyte hard drive.
Remember when there's some sort of there's a famous quote from Bill Gates where he talks about like
No one
100
will ever
megabyte
need
hard
more
drive.
than 640 kilobytes of RAM.
There we go.
Oh man, I
Aged
wish that
like
were true.
milk.
I mean, you could fit like a whole book in there.
Whoa, one book in a computer?
Yeah.
We need more commercials! Tim, find me some sponsors!
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, it's so fucking good.
Why are you swearing so much?
It's this food you gave me. What the fuck is it?
That's Calypso Southwest. You can find it at the St. John's Beer Porch. Isn't it good?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna come to this cart on my lunch break. It feels so good in my mouth.
That's our Yo-Ho-Ho coconut rum tofu. It's marinated in coconut milk and rum, coated in panko and shredded coconut, and then deep fried to crispy perfection.
I'm not even a vegetarian. This tastes great.
Technically, it's vegan, but we also have jerk chicken and Southwest-style pork, gluten-free and paleo options too.
What's this fluffy white stuff? It tastes like, oh, baby.
That's our Southwest Sunrise, cooked with coconut milk and mixed with our super green slaw, cotija cheese, and cilantro.
Oh, it tastes so good.
And don't forget your plantain chips.
You have to be fucking kidding me. I fucking love plantains.
Want to know a secret?
I love secrets.
You can get 10% off at Calypso Southwest at the St. John's Beer Porch by telling them the Dumb Geeks sent you. Hey, where are you going?
I'm getting lunch.
Anyway, you want to go in chronological
Let's
order.
do this.
Come on, Dusty.
Let's not jump all over
So
the
he
place.
goes in, there's not the usual clients, but just because, as we reveal later, they're scientists.
Yep. But they have money somehow.
And we go to the lobby where
They
the
got a
guy
lot of
with
long
a
hair.
coke nail, a very fancy coke nail, is walking with some cool ass thugs that have some great weapons.
You
made your disability
into an advantage.
Whatever that meant.
Who said that? Which guy said that?
That was like a nerdy guy at that.
No, it was the main boss guy.
But who did he say that to?
He said it's the guy with the finger.
Oh, what was the
'Cause
disability?
he'd lost his thumb and he replaced it with a thumb that had a
you sure,
laser whip
he
in it.
didn't just lose his thumbnail?
I don't know.
Because his thumb worked. He just had a thumbnail.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they had weird half mechanical, half biological implants.
Like Rucker Hauer.
Well, do you remember the guy who had the robot hand and it got frozen and smashed?
Yeah.
And,
And
there
then
was
it
a bunch
turns
of
out
wires
it was a
and
real
blood.
hand.
Well, there were wires in it too.
I know. I was confused. I was like, "Oh, he's putting his robot hand in the freezing liquid.
Oh.
Who fucking cares?
Was
Why
he
is
a-
he
Wait,
screaming?
watch out. That
Was
was
he a
later in the movie.
bodyguard?
Dusty
Dusty,
may
Dusty.
bless you.
For the
we
people who
got
haven't
future
seen the
police
movie.
over here.
So, yeah,
For the
bad
people who
guys
haven't seen the movie, we must recreate the movie.
If you
for
haven't
them.
seen the movie, please pause the episode. Watch the movie. Come
So
back.
if you haven't killed yourself,
So the dude with the
This isn't Guardian of the Highlands. This movie's
fancy nail.
great.
the fancy nail.
Jamie
He's the
disagrees.
guy with the weird whip that's a lightsaber
Yeah, I
whip.
love that dude.
That's a really cool weapon.
So cool.
Yeah, that was weird, but
That
cool.
was straight out of Shadowrun.
Oh, okay. I
It's
never
all
saw
of this
Shadow.
was straight out of Shadowrun. The hacking scenes were straight out of the Sega Genesis version of Shadowrun.
Oh, is Shadowrun a video game?
No, it's
There's been a few
rule
video
set.
games, but it's like an RPG game, like Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
but set in a cyberpunk universe.
It's also
it also has magic.
It's also very Cyberpunk 2077. Like the video game Cyberpunk 2077, which is coming
hasn't come out yet.
But it's going to come out. Looks like this. I mean, even
You
when we,
might be confused because Keanu Reeves is in it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh my god.
Whoa.
And the video game is one point that has really bothered a lot of misogynistic gamers is that you can make your character, like your gender is fluid in the game. You can become a man, you can become a woman, you can do whatever. And so we came up on those. What's the Johnson's name? Roofy? The guy who gives the mission.
Yeah, Roofy's on the mind.
Ralphie. I'm thinking about it later. The Ralphie has two bodyguards, and one of them is a transgendered bodyguard.
Yeah.
Or just a drag queen. Who knows?
Because it wasn't a drag queen, because a drag queen is someone who gets in drag on show. That's someone who's at work.
Okay, yeah.
So that would make them transgendered or gender fluid.
No, I mean drag queens can just walk around town dressed up in drag, and that doesn't mean that they're transgendered.
But they don't go to work that way. They could, but you're not really a drag queen at
depends on
that
what you're.
point.
If you're a professional
many drag queens
queen.
are professional. Yeah.
Hey, dumbheads! If anybody's a drag queen, could you please
I
clear
just
this
want to
up
point
in
out
our email?
I know a drag queen who goes to work in drag. His name's RuPaul.
You know RuPaul?
I know about him.
Zing!
Got you.
Anyway, it's very Cyberpunk 2077, and it's
He
very
takes his
Shadowrun
dress
3rd edition.
off to go home.
Okay, Mr. Chronological, can we please continue the movie?
Okay. So they bust up in there and they're like, "We're gonna kill all you scientists," and they start firing everyone. Luckily, Johnny Mnemonic was in the bathroom, like wanting to vomit or not.
And they just wouldn't shoot
was
him.
doing,
They
like,
had so
Tai
many
Chi.
opportunities to shoot him, and they wouldn't.
I think
He was
we're
like-
5
He went
minutes
in-
into the movie.
He was gonna vomit, and then he was doing Tai Chi. Well, because of you guys.
Oh yeah, he bleeds. His nose bleeds
His
out.
nose bleeds.
and then he does Tai Chi.
'Cause he
Amanda
took
just
You're right,
started
it was
It was
laughing.
us who
Yeah, that
decided to
part
go
was hilarious.
chronological.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that.
Dusty's all
That's
about
what
the
I'm gonna-
chronological.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
So-
very logical.
Thank
yes.
I feel like I'm in Doolittle,
Did you
Which one? The old one
or the
one
new
with-
one?
the new one.
Oh, okay.
You watched it?
No.
Anyway,
RDJ.
So he gets in a fight with Baldy
yeah.
in the bathroom. Him
is so
and
slow.
Baldy. And
27 minutes in.
I'm just saying, I felt like the first act was actually pretty tight, like in terms of
I love the first
storytelling.
act.
I thought that the first act was edited way too slow.
Well, I'm just like
The whole movie was edited too slow.
I feel like movies from that era were slower.
No, I like a slow-paced movie, but it did not earn being that slow.
Yeah, because it didn't really help.
There wasn't
the plot.
anything to drink in the
Yeah.
slowness.
But it was
Yeah.
very much movies from that era where the choreography was very much for the camera instead of like nothing felt realistic
Yeah.
about it. No
Yeah, absolutely.
reaction time felt realistic. We very
Yeah.
much like when we meet Ice Cube. I'm skipping ahead. When we meet Ice Cube, or Ice T, sorry.
Who are you? I'm J-Bone. I run heaven.
Anyway, so when we meet Ice T, he is
Low-tech head.
sorry, still good. Ice T's brother is upstairs, and he just really wants the binoculars that Ice T has, and he just
So
won't
awesome.
Did they
fucking
establish
stop.
that it was his brother? Or do you just think all black people are related?
I guess I think all black people are related.
Okay.
Was that guy black?
So,
The other guy that died black? I don't remember.
whoa, don't be racist. So they
They're
were
not dyed black.
Yeah, this is what is happening. Anyway, so he keeps trying to grab the binoculars, and Ice-T keeps being like, "No, you can't
Stop
have them."
it.
And then he makes
your
some
own
noise.
binoculars.
And the dude that Johnny came in to get the surgery from, and finds out it's a double cross, ends up shooting him, and he falls to the ground. Then Ice-T comes down, and he's like, wait, what did he say? He said, "Hey, I want you to say something." What? Say goodbye.
Oh, wait, no. I wrote this one down.
Yeah, that's what he
I
says.
tried to bring it up at one point, but Dusty was like, no, too early. Oh, he said, you weren't on the menu, but I want you to do something for me. And then he said, do? And then he said, yes, say bye.
It's even worse than what I said. And then all the bad guys are like this. They're just like, hey, I'm going to give you a really large opening to, oh no. And then they get attacked. And the dude right after that comes out and is like, ha ha ha, got you now. And then Johnny Mnemonic hits him in the back of the head. Like, it's so 80s in 1995.
So,
Well, I mean, it was really wanted to be Blade Runner.
But it was like Blade Runner meets Commando.
Blade Runner is really slow. I feel like,
But it earns it. Like Tip says, Blade Runner earns it.
yeah, I liked like the first act. I felt like was really well thought out in terms of making everyone's motivations clean and clear. And then, like, at a certain point, it just kind of, like, starts waffling off the rails and back on and off the rails, like, from one scene. Like, anytime that...
It felt like they were constantly introducing new people who are looking from the roof of a building at everything that was going on.
Yeah, and dropping cars from above on fire.
And I feel like this is actually a point in the movie where this is where we get Dolph Lundgren as the street preacher.
And why did he even need to be there? I didn't understand his point.
That's the point.
You know what? He needed to be there so that we could have a crucifix knife.
Yeah,
was
twice.
Hey, I'm sorry. Was there a different street preacher? Wasn't there Street Ninja? Is that and that was
There
the
was
street
Spider.
preacher?
You mean in this movie?
Yeah. There was like, oh, look, there's the Street Ninja.
No, he said street. There were people up on the roof again watching. But there's several the street preacher. They were talking about
scenes of the people on the roof.
Is that this Dolph Lundgren or whatever?
Yeah,
or is that a
Dolph
different
Lundgren,
dude?
who has a
Yeah, that was Dolph
PhD.
Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren does he have a PhD or a master's?
I think it's a PhD.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, this is about 45 minutes into the movie, which I marked down because this is the point at which Jamie fell asleep.
I think that's about the time Amanda fell asleep too. Which, how many times did you hear the word the data? Get the data.
I don't know.
You have to get the data. They said that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It was good that they established that there were artificial intelligence laws of 2006. Which is how we say 2006
Yeah,
now, right?
2006.
2006.
I also, okay, so I couldn't tell everyone, like at a certain point, people stop giving a shit about whether they're getting the data from Johnny or they're just destroying it. And then it becomes hard to tell, like, are these guys trying
Straight
to take
to the
his
end,
head?
they want his head.
And some people
the
are
guy
just
at the
trying to
end is
kill
like-
him.
You didn't even watch the end.
Yeah.
But the main guy who's been going after him the whole time saves him from dying because he needs,
He needs his head.
But
And
how
it
would
needs
that
to be
work?
He ends up
intact.
cutting off his head with his own laser thumbnail. That was so awesome.
He's got to cut off his head and then immediately cryogenically freeze it.
Yeah.
But supposedly
That's why
he's-
they kept bringing the cryogenic freeze tank that they freeze the one dude's hand in.
But they keep mentioning that the data will be unstable when it comes out, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But then how would that work if they freeze the head? How are they going to get it out?
I see this movie really confused you.
I just so much about it. It was like, you're close to hitting on something, but your basic understanding of how any of this would work.
Yeah.
I think that
is
part of
so
the secret
odd.
That part was hard
of
to wrap
watching
my
this
head around.
movie is to not listen to the techno babble and let it flow over
Like,
you.
why couldn't they download the data?
Let
with-
me just play a clip that's going to explain
I
everything.
I understand
Are you
that
ready?
he's-
We're not gonna get it right now. The only way left is to hack your own brain, and then loop it through Joan.
Wait, I wrote that down.
The fuel tanks.
You didn't get shortly
And
after
then he
that. There's
doesn't-
anher line that I wrote down from Ice-T.
and then
which
he doesn't
said,
do it.
Who knows what shit's in there? Probably got virus programs.
He could have.
And that was always the thing when they were like,
There was a virus he had to fight when he went.
yeah, when he was
connected
when
to
he
the
put
dolphin.
when he
Just-
put the
just-
Oculus Quest on his face because he finally found a computer and he was like talking to the hacker. You remember that?
Oh yeah,
And
the
they're
hacker
like,
comes up halfway through, right?
and they're
Yeah.
like, they sent you a virus, and then we leave that scene.
And then he fights the virus later.
Does he fight it?
Yeah, because he doubles his body.
Right.
And then the
oh,
virus
yeah. He
kills
uses his
the
Tai Chi
body
to double
double.
his body.
Yeah.
Do you remember
and
how
Ice-T
many-
goes, "Don't worry, it killed his body double."
Do you remember the amount of arm movements and like fucking Tai Chi shit that he had to do just to dial a phone number when he went into VR?
Yeah. And then he got the
And he
number
had to
wrong,
like
and he
fly
had
through
to,
a fucking universe to get to the right thing.
He had to
and, like-
redo the triangle to put it together to get
Oh
through.
yeah, because he got that password wrong.
That was
Also, the interface is so busy. I was just
So
like,
busy.
how would you know what to click on and touch? Like, there's so much shit
There's
flying
lots of
around.
stuff
because he's
flying
hacking.
at you.
When you're hacking, you can't tell where the interface is
When you're
'cause
hacking in VR.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes
This movie actually gets really close to something I was talking to Chris about, which is that I've got like a gestating idea for a script that's just about hackers and just them like hacking using like joysticks and getting like electrocuted. They don't just have a firewall, they have an electric fence.
No, I gotta muscle through it.
That is a brilliant idea. And then it's like them doing it on like a big screen, and they're like, "Oh no, you're close."
I'm imagining a joystick and a VR headset.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they're sitting in
But
front
then
of
there's
a large
also a big screen.
Yeah.
It's also blasting it across to the point of text legibility.
I mean,
when I was a
brilliant.
kid and I went and we saw Jurassic Park, you know the part where the raptor has all the stuff that's all the genetic code projected across it when it's going in front of like the computer screens and stuff?
The animation thing?
What?
Or,
No, I'm talking about where they're being chased at the very end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
There's some part where the raptors go past the computer screen and all these like DNA, A, B, G, C, D stuff is being gunned across their face. Okay. And my dad was really angry about it. He's like, computer monitors don't project stuff on your face like that.
I mean, they know that.
His dad
He would
walked
have
out.
loved Johnny Mnemonic.
His dad walked out of Hackers because it was too stressful.
It was stressing
FYI.
him out. It reminded him too much of work.
So back to the movie. A couple things I want to point out. One is that the haptic gloves, whenever he was using them in that hack scene right before he gets the virus, were making car alarm sounds. Or like when you use the fob, it goes beep beep. They was going beep 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 beep.
Hey,
beep,
those
beep.
haptic gloves actually look pretty close to some recently released haptic
They
gloves.
do. They looked and the headset looked like the Oculus Quest.
Yeah,
They look
kind
very
of.
close.
It was like a metal thing right against your
not
face.
the metal one, the first one that he used in the beginning of the movie.
But
wait, hold on.
The
So I
one
tried
where
to
he
bring
was
this up
talking to the
earlier.
dolphin, that one looked awesome. That's the one I want.
Can we talk about how in the future guns have the exact same functionality, but they're 3 times the size because they have so many fucking things glued to them?
Yeah, future guns.
Well, that's what
Makes
it
sense.
takes.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
they
got to
still-
put cameras on them. And doesn't he shoot one and then take a thing off and throw it? But he keeps
well,
using the
Johnny
gun?
did. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
at one point Diz threw a pink grenade.
Yeah.
I
With the
did-
troll doll.
I
It was the
did
troll
like
doll
that.
was the top of it. She throws it.
I like that line when she's going through her purse and she's like, "And a grenade. Every girl needs one."
A girl's best friend.
Could be.
But but remember, Diz has a case of NAS.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
The-
right.
A case of nasty pussy.
Oh yeah, did we even?
Ooh, no,
They
bring
that's
up
never
the best
really-
pussy.
nasty?
yeah,
You
oh,
take
yeah.
that back.
That's
What-
like a good plot point.
What is NAS?
we
She has
totally-
net-
we
Wait,
totally
wait,
cut this out.
Hold on. She has a case of NAS. Is that network attached storage?
I know. That's what I thought. Every time I saw it, I was like, network attack storage. Network attack storage. No, it's
I think that Johnny has a case of NAS too.
it's nerve attenuation syndrome.
Yeah,
Right?
It's because of all that
That is
technology.
straight out of Shadowrun.
Yep.
Yeah. So, do you get that just because of the implants, or just
Oh, let me
because
tell
of
you
all the
why you
media?
get it. I'm gonna play it
The
again.
technology.
We're just gonna play that again. This is why. This is the whole explanation.
What causes it? The world causes it. This causes it. This causes it. This causes it. Information overload.
didn't we already hear this one?
Yeah,
All the
but
electronics
Dusty
around you
forgot.
Poisoning the airwaves.
I mean,
We should just change the name of the podcast to Dusty Forgot.
Yeah.
No,
so it's
co-
5G Wi-Fi basically.
I mean,
It caused it.
So-
you know, it's like vaccines, 5G
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
I don't think we're supposed to take what he's saying as fact. He's a crazy person.
But in present day, though,
Ice-T says that Spider's the smartest man he's ever met.
he is.
Wait,
yeah.
hold on. I think that the movie makes it clear that the only reason that this exists is because the pharmaceutical companies want it to exist because it helps them make money.
Well,
They want to treat it.
They found a cure.
No, they found a cure. They weren't the cause.
They want to keep the cure so that they could keep treating them.
What's the cure? If the world causes it, what's the cure?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, the world doesn't cause it. I bet that the pharmaceutical company purposely made the chips to fuck people up so they could later sell the
That
cure.
would have been a better plot.
Yeah,
We're transforming this podcast into InfoWars. I think in the world of Johnny Mnemonic, the pharmaceuticals did the cat. Yeah.
I just think the real world version of that technology overload is just depression. Like,
Yeah.
they thought you were
basically.
going to get a physical ailment, but instead it's just
You just
like,
get
wow,
depressed.
you're just depressed.
Reading Twitter and real Donald Trump.
Keeping up with Facebook, knowing you don't have a happy life.
Yeah, you don't lose control of your limbs. You lose the ability to sleep, and you're really fucking pissed all the time.
Yeah.
People will be like, "Why are you so cranky?" And it's like, "I've got NAN."
NAS.
NAS. I'm sorry,
NAS.
not network attached network device.
Not network attached storage. NAS.
NAS.
Oh, how cool is Ice-T's wrist blade thrower?
Yeah, that's pretty slick. And then he never used it again.
It's like faster than a gun.
don't
There's a
even
gun
remember
trained
it.
on him.
That's what's crazy
Oh,
is that.
he just goes like this, and there's a blade sticking out of the dude.
Yeah. But all the weapons they have all these badass ones, and then sometimes they just stabbed people.
Yeah.
But it's like you have a laser that slices through
or there was
anyone.
or like sometimes they had guns, the less technologically advanced ones, and sometimes they used bow and arrows.
Yeah, and also when we were in the low tech area, people were just swinging on ropes. Like they were just like Johnny would walk upstairs, and then a dude on a rope would just swing and land right behind him.
As Maximilian Chameleonaire, I can tell you that's what poor people do. Just swinging from the trees.
I just don't. Yeah, and it's like, why? How are you low tech? I don't. You have
Yeah,
They're
just.
not low
part
tech
was
at all.
weird.
They have a fucking dolphin hooked up to a wall of monitors that an AI lives in.
Also, okay.
Wait. You
It's
remember
a
when you remember the AI
it's
thing?
a fish.
Near the end of the movie, she shows up as a giant hologram,
Yeah.
like the guy in the Power Rangers.
Hold up.
That's kind of when she started showing up. That's when I feel like the movie started going off the rails.
Yeah.
When she started.
Oh, and it
there's
wasn't the dolphin?
One single shot of her as this big holographic head, and then suddenly she's never a holographic head again.
Yeah.
She's just on the TV screens.
And she has this line.
She
that-
keeps flipping in and being like Johnny, and then
Johnny,
trying to
yeah.
change
I-
people's
They
minds.
could only afford one holographic effect, one
But
shot.
she didn't change anybody's minds. She was completely ineffective. She might as well not be there. But she had this line that I
that
was
was
like,
the CEO lady that
I
they
was
mentioned in the movie.
I was like, whoa, this is weird. This feels like it's from a different movie because the dialogue was kind of cool and kind of artsy.
The company has forgotten for me. Now they erase me, burn me out of the mainframes. One memory after another. How very kind of them.
How very kind of them. Like she's relishing and losing herself. Like that's a complicated character.
This movie-
Nobody else is complicated in this movie.
This movie has too much interest in characters that don't matter. Like it's constantly introducing people and giving them way too much dialogue. I wrote down one. There was a part where we just ran into two guys who die like a minute later, but they have a whole argument. And it starts out with this guy being
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I told her, if she want to be with me and I want to be with her, forget the disability. It's about the feeling, right?
He had a lisp. The lisp is the disability.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the
I
only
told her
disability?
that if she wanted to be with me and I want to be with her, just forget about the disability. It's a feeling. It was just like, what? What? Why?
I don't know that it's
Is any
totally
of this
clear
happening?
that was the disability.
I'm assuming that's what it was because there was no visible disability.
I was assuming that she was
might
like
have been disabled.
Did you ever see that banned episode of X-Files where the incest house, they have the mom with no arms or legs
And
on a
she's strapped
skateboard
to
under the bed?
Yes.
No, but
That's
go
what I
on.
imagined.
That was the creepiest X-Files. Oh man, that haunted me for years.
I was just imagining a woman with no arms and legs or teeth on a skateboard
Of
under a
course,
bed
you
when
would
he was
go
talking
right
about
to that. I just thought she was in a wheelchair.
That's what gets Dusty up.
Well, no, I mean, maybe she's not confident about being in a wheelchair, and he's like, I don't care about your disability.
I mean, it's true that I. Yes,
that's how I interpret it.
She could have been a little person or some other kind of disability.
But that relationship dynamic between this minor character and a person we never see is more complicated than Mnemonic's character with his love interest who just comes in and he's in pain and she's like, you know what? I'll just make out with you. no reason for her to.
Yeah, because they hadn't been connecting like that. Yeah.
No chemistry.
He like hated her.
Yeah.
So weird.
Well, he normally goes with prostitutes, so
Yeah. Well,
they might have left out a scene where he paid her.
Yeah, and he still wanted a prostitute. I mean, that's who he was ranting to.
She was
her.
against being a prostitute.
Well, he owed her $50K. Remember?
Wait. You remember the part where she's crawling through the ducts and then jumps down while he's about to get killed?
Yeah. And the duck is
what motivated that? Why did she get into that fucking duct in the first place?
Because she is trying to get back at the dude who crossed Johnny. Because
I know,
he wouldn't hire her.
He wanted her to be a prostitute.
Yeah, and he wouldn't hire her because she has NAS.
Joke. He was just like.
I don't know that was a joke.
I mean, don't think it was a joke.
It was like a cruel sense of humor because she wanted to be a bodyguard, and he was like, "You should just be a whore."
It felt very convenient that her solution to that was, I'm going to climb through vents and peek on him.
So her motivation was, I'm going to fuck with you.
And it was kind
of
saying
that to me.
It was amazing.
I think that motivation actually worked.
The vent was shaped like no vent you've ever seen. It was angled specifically so she could kick it at the villain. Like, it wasn't a down vent. It was like a 45-degree angle so she could launch it 5 feet into the guy that's about to... It was so convenient.
Yeah, well, that's movies, man.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hey everybody, Chris here with the Dumb Geeks. Did you know that we have a phone number and an email address? You can call, text, or email us your ideas. Maybe there's something you want us to say. Maybe there's something you want us to do. Hit us up at 971-801-8502 or email us at thedumbgeeks@gmail.com. If you leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on the show. And if you're a French listener, oh boy, do we want to hear from you. That's 971-801-8502 or thedumbgeeks@gmail.com. Now back to Keanuary.
So back to where we are in the movie, kind of.
So he just fell baldy and he's going down in the elevator.
No, I think we're past that. So they're at Ice-T's place. Or wait, no, they're at Henry Rollins' place.
Yeah.
He's just done the brain work on him.
What's his name in the movie?
And then the street preacher shows
Spider.
up.
Yeah.
Right? The street preacher shows up.
I'm sorry. He's not at Spider's place. They go to Spider's place and he's like, I can't do anything
He's with
for
Henry
you.
Rollins.
He's with Henry Rollins, but then they go to the underground doctor place.
Before we go there, while we're
at
still at Spider's place, where he sets him in the bed and he's like,
that was the first time.
I'm gonna try to crack your.
No, that's the second time. That's at the NAS hideout. That's where everybody is suffering.
That's where the street preacher shows up.
Who's Dr. Allcome? And he's like, it's Dr. Allcome.
No cum jokes.
Oh, my bad.
And like everyone should come. Anyways,
that was
he's gonna crack the algorithm by randomly typing on a keyboard and looking into a oscilloscope.
And the first two images,
man, that is so fucking dumb. He should have had a dolphin. That fucking moron.
I mean, at least he could have had a monitor that the thing was hooked up to. He's just looking at a signal path. How does he know what he's typing? Like,
when was the last time you hacked a mnemonic?
I'd probably run some programs.
Well, the trick is you gotta hack yourself and route it through Jones.
What was Jones?
The only way left is to hack your own brain. But sorry, the point that I was trying to get to was that the street preacher shows up there, right?
Yeah.
And they all start fighting
right
him.
after he doesn't hack his brain. So.
Right. But they're all fighting him. And they're doing well.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them against Dolph Lundgren, and then for no reason, Henry Rollins is like, just go! And they just run out, and then he just gets murdered.
But we don't see him die. He just gets one hand with a scalpel and the other hand with a scalpel, and then he screams. And then later she's like, Spider's dead. It's like, how do you know? You were gone.
But if they had just stayed there, they would have beat him, and they wouldn't be followed by this crazy giant He-Man.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the end of the movie because we're talking about the street preacher?
The end of the movie.
I have that audio recording
of the.
Yes, because I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's just garbage. That part.
Yep. So.
Oh God. So when I thought
that was
he was
the worst
rising.
fake out. You missed it. You missed it. It was a great moment.
I'm gonna hear it now.
And his name was Jesus, so that's important.
Yes.
And he's constantly like, "Oh Jesus!"
Dead.
So just say. So they're all looking out at the cityscape, and they hear a scraping sound. and they turn around to see the body of Jesus.
And he's totally burned to the point where he's
burned.
like a fucking skeleton with meat on it.
And he's moving. It's getting
He's lifting up.
Just garbage.
Let's play it again.
Just garbage. Get that out of here.
They've hooked up a winch to him and they're lifting up his dead body to get rid of him.
To throw him in the river.
It's just garbage. Get that out of
Because
here.
the only way you could get rid of a
there's
dead
another
body
fight
is to
scene.
winch it up in a way that makes people think that it's getting up off the ground to fight you.
But also, everybody could see the winch.
Yeah.
We're the only people that couldn't see it.
It was such a great scene. I was like, damn, Jesus is rising?
I was like, whoa, it's going to be a badass.
With
like,
that music in the background?
Yeah. It was very
why
slow.
even insert that? Why even put that in there?
That's
so
what
that
your
Ice-T
wife
could have
said.
that one line.
Because I'm married to you. Anyway, you're legally
You don't
obligated.
get to say no.
I voted for Trump and this is what I want. Is that bad? I didn't mean to mischaracterize all the Trump supporters that listen to our podcast. I think you guys are great.
I doubt those people listen to our podcast.
Oh, then I'm not going to cut it. Oh, I'm a Trump supporter.
They want to hear that you're a Trump supporter.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing.
And
Good.
a rapist.
Well, that's
solidarity.
beat those charges.
I told her if she want to be with me and I want to be with her, forget the Trump support.
And then you're like, wait, who's the Trump supporter?
Wait a minute. Oh, 2021.
For the rest of the movie. Which one?
How does this work?
The low techs, the InfoWars.
So
of the Trump
how
I
are they
supporters.
think they're
low-tech?
low because there
I
is
don't
a
even remember
line
what
that
low-tech
Ice-T
is.
has as he goes,
They
get
never
your
explained it.
VCRs ready to download this. So I was like, oh, that's low tech.
So
Okay,
they're basically
yeah.
they're like the digital Amish.
Isn't
They're
Low
like-
Tech's like one of the groups that the woman in Ferris Bueller said gets along with Ferris Bueller? She's like, the punks, the losers, the squeeb squabs.
I just feel like low tech would mean that they were no
Like,
tech.
off the grid.
But once
Off the
again,
That's
grid.
how they made it seem in the beginning when
At
you
the-
first
yeah.
meet them, because he points over and it's like an underground thing. I was like, they lived like under a bridge with.
I think they lived in the bridge.
Yeah.
But they
They don't have Wi-Fi.
They had a cyber
They had
dolphin
to.
that had remote control sonar
But
dishes.
the movie starts out with them hacking the screens at the hotel,
Yeah.
putting in their messaging.
Wait, okay.
Low
at,
tech.
at the end of the movie, you remember when she microwaves Dolph Lundgren using the dolphin's
It's
satellite dish?
not microwave, it's sonar.
Well, no. But here's the thing. Why didn't the dolphin just do that? Why did she have to grab it and do it?
Guessing
Shit,
that
a
it was damaged from the.
No, but remember the dolphin did it to Keanu earlier.
But I'm guessing it was damaged from the RPG that the one character that like suddenly was prominent on the ground. Remember, she was just like shooting.
I think
stuff.
that the dolphin wasn't on their side.
That reminds me, the lady.
I wouldn't be on their
she
side if
didn't-
I was a fucking dolphin wearing a cyber helmet and a tiny ass
Yeah.
tank.
Well, the
used
dolphin
to crack
also.
codes for the Navy.
Yeah, that dolphin had no room to swim.
Yeah.
But I did like the part where
I really
Keanu
hope that
sees
wasn't
it.
a real dolphin.
I love the puppet.
Yeah, Keanu sees it and he's like, a fish? And she's like, it's a mammal.
Like, makes
feel
a
like that's
sixth
actually-
grade misunderstanding.
Yeah, and then
I
he
think
says
that's
fish
like a-
again like twice.
It's so bad.
I
That's
feel
why
like
the
that
dolphin
comes
hated
up
him.
in like a bunch of movies in like the 80s and 90s where people think that dolphins and whales are fish.
Must have been something going on at the time.
That they had to correct that. They're like, let's squeeze
yeah.
this line in
it
for the
was like-
kids.
it was
Let them
'cause it
know
was
that it's a
written
mammal.
by people who were born in the 50s.
The scene. So I think the dish was damaged from the lady with the RPG who was on the ground and shooting. And I wrote this down because she's just shooting rockets over and over. We never see her reload. She's just shooting rockets up at the bridge.
And the explosion from her point of view is way bigger than when they go up to the top.
It's like a giant explosion and just like sparks.
Jamie at this point said, how did they afford all these explosions? They didn't have money for this movie.
And then she gets shot in the mouth and she straight up spikes the camera. I paused it to make sure she looks directly in the camera lens as she's turning. And that's some amateur ass editing right there.
Maybe it's their only option. You know?
The editor was bad.
We need those 3 seconds. She got shot in the face, held it, turned to the right, and fell.
I don't know what their decision was.
Early on in the movie, there was one Dutch angle, and I was
Yeah,
afraid that
in
the
the-
whole
in the-
movie was going to be Dutch angles.
In the elevator.
No, it was while they were running through the alleyway. There was a Dutch angle that then shifted to a regular angle for no reason.
There was a Dutch in the
and I was like, is this going to be Battlefield Earth again?
It was super Dutch when he was like outside running from Baldy or whatever. Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But right before we meet,
it's like, why are we doing this? What's this about?
Well, because they wanted to make. I honestly like a lot of the movie. I felt like they were like, "Oh, this is like a classic scene from." Like there was a scene where he's hanging off of the side of a building, and I was like, "This is like a shot from Vertigo. This feels like a shot from this movie." Like it's like they had this checklist of shots they wanted to get from different classic movies.
They nailed it.
They nailed it. They got it.
Because I felt that when I was like,
and it
"This is a classic
inspired The
movie."
Matrix.
Honestly, I said it before, but say it again. I fucking love this movie.
I'm not sure if it inspired The Matrix so much
no
as
way
it was inspired by the same things as The Matrix.
The Matrix fucking hired the same dude to play the same parts.
Yeah, but
there's no way this did not inspire those guys. There's just no fucking way. I mean, he's got a jack in the back of his head. They do all the same shit. I mean, they did a better job, obviously.
That's arguable.
Okay.
Okay, do we want to get into our final impressions or our judgments of the movie?
Yeah, let's do it. So, what's your final impressions, Tip?
All right, you first, Donkey Dusty.
DD.
I liked the movie.
DD and VD.
Ooh.
I liked it a lot. I thought the story had some, like, it kept, like, trying to jump off the rails and then, like, kind of catching itself and coming back a little bit. The first act, I thought someone put some thought into it, but they had no real concept of how data works. Like, if you have a max of 160, you have a max of 160.
You go into VR, but it takes 5 minutes to fax 3 images.
So some stuff, like... But if you ignore that and you just think of it like they must have thought of it, which was just magic. And
we didn't even cover how the dude got killed and he gave him the images.
Yeah, that didn't.
Anyway,
because the CEO lady talked to him and was like, "Your daughter."
He cut the cables when she talked to him.
Yeah, then
he was like, "Fuck you."
So at that third act, none of the motivations make any sense anymore, and you're not even sure who's doing what for what reason anymore.
It's very confusing.
So 5 stars.
I would say it's a 3.5, but almost a 4. I like it.
Is that on a regular movie scale or on a bad movie scale?
More of a like.
Because generally, I think that we should rate on a bad movie scale. Like, how good is this to watch as a bad movie?
I would say it's pretty good to watch as a bad movie. It almost kind of flips over into art movie, I feel like, because it's so stylized.
The dialogue stops it from flipping into an art movie.
Yeah, totally. The dialogue is bad, and the guy who plays the doctor, the flesh mechanic guy, he is the
Henry
worst
Rollins?
cast
I was like,
person.
does he sell coke to the crew? Like, why is
so
he in this movie?
bad? He's not believable as the doctor. Everyone else is like pretty well cast. I felt like that casting was bad,
so bad.
But otherwise, I really like the movie. I'll probably watch it again. Honestly, I'll get to the end.
All right, Chris.
5 out of 5. I love this movie. This fits in there with those 90s cyberpunk movies, Cyborg, The Virtuosity, Strange Days. Like, it just has such a... It's so aesthetically pleasing. You got Keanu Reeves when he's young.
With no sideburns, so it kind of looks funky.
Oh, that haircut was great. I was just waiting for, they spiked his hair. I loved everything about this movie. My attention did wane towards the end because I was just like, I don't know what's happening. But all the way up to the end, I love all of it. I love it. I love this movie. You should watch it again. I think I've seen it like 4 times, actually.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
So,
well, what do you think about it?
I wasn't a huge fan. I think it's because I don't really like the genre, or I don't know.
Not a sci-fi fan?
I got hung up on the technology stuff because maybe if I watched it in 1995, I'd be like, oh, okay. But
memory doubler. Yeah, that's what you need.
That makes sense. But I was hung up on all that. The dialogue was just awful.
The dialogue's not great.
But it was funny. I did have to pause it and get really high to finish it because I was like, I cannot.
I just want to go back to the set design. The helmet that he uses at the end of the movie
with the dolphin
is so anime. It's so awesome. Like, it was straight up Meatball Machine. It was so weird and fucked up. I love that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I guess it's a good bad movie because there was a lot of parts I just laughed at or just was like, okay.
Yeah, it
this is
definitely has high
believable plot.
watchability.
Yeah,
I never laughed.
I've noticed. It makes me sad.
It's hard because I forgot my childhood.
So 5-star scale.
I made space for this movie by erasing my childhood.
Okay, I did like that plot point about the childhood stuff.
I missed that.
And
I've
bringing
seen
in
it multiple times.
bringing in all those memories.
Yeah.
Because it was fun to like go, where are they going with this?
They
So there was a
suggested
little
at the
more.
very beginning with the hooker, and she says something
sex
like,
worker,
Yeah.
dude. Come on.
and,
She says,
and
"What's
he's
your-"
like, "Can you believe that I don't know?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can believe it. I'm gonna go get ice."
Yeah.
But we already have ice.
So
But
on a
honestly-
scale of 5 stars,
I don't know. I guess for a bad movie, maybe 3. Yeah.
I'm just curious. What's a bad movie that you would rate higher than this?
From Justin to Kelly.
What? I've never heard of it.
that was the American Idol movie.
It's
I've
an
never
American
seen
Idol.
All
dance.
right, future movie.
Okay. So I still
Did
haven't.
you ever
Yeah.
see The Room
No.
with Johnny?
Oh boy.
So my opinion on this movie, I feel like it seemed like they watched Blade Runner and then tried to replicate everything they thought they could do cheap.
They had a transparent raincoat. The villain wore a transparent raincoat just like Blade Runner.
They did not even bother trying to do flying cars. They're like, nah, they're not going to pull that off.
Yeah, that part
Although they
cracked
did
me
have
up.
a really, really bad effect shot of a satellite flying in space that was like a really bad model shot.
Yeah.
That's what the flying cars would have looked like if they did that shit.
Yeah, they looked horrible. Remember
Yeah.
the helicopter shot? They had the multiple helicopters.
yeah.
They looked like they were all just like
Toy helicopters,
So
yeah.
bad.
So, I mean, I liked a lot of that stuff about how bad it was. But I feel like what's really holding the movie back is the slow editing. Like, I like a bad movie that is edited just so fast that you can't even keep up with the insanity. You're just constantly laughing. Like, to me, a 5-star bad movie is Howard the Duck.
I couldn't get through Howard the Duck.
Holy shit. That movie is so good.
So
That was actually like one of my favorite movies when I was like 5, and
Yeah,
I
I
rewatched
really
it
liked it
as an
as a kid.
adult.
This explains so much about you.
I rewatched it as an adult, and I was like, why was this movie for children? He literally gets a job working at a place where people fuck in jacuzzis and he mops up the jizz.
I don't remember that.
It was
but-
for kids?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
rated
it was.
PG.
Oh, was that when there wasn't
And
a
the
PG?
mom from Back to the Future fucks a duck.
Wait, was that when there was only PG or R and there was no PG-13? Because there's a lot of weird movies
I think
in that.
so, but it's still...
It should have been R.
It really calls into question the whole era. Yeah. But for this movie, I would say because of if I could go back in and edit it myself and tighten it up, I would give it 5 stars. But as it stands, 3 stars.
All right. There you go. So what was yours again, Dusty?
3.5.
So we got a 3.5, a 3, and a 5 star.
I
'cause
guess
love
you're
this.
out of the pack and you're a moron.
Or I'm just Johnny Mnemonic.
Whoa.
More like Johnny Moronic.
Don't you mean
Oh man, I bet
Mnemonic?
that was the headline for like a million reviews when it came out.
You're probably, yeah.
Johnny Moronic, F.
2 thumbs down.
Shortest review ever. Well, I think that we're kind of wrapping up here.
We're wrapping up.
I mean, the lessons to take away from this movie, like the only way left is to hack your own brain.
Yeah. And then you got to route it through Jones. You can't just hack your own brain. You got to hack your own brain and route it through Jones. And they kept showing the dolphin like flying through the CG. I love that.
That part I was laughing so hard because I was like, that's really
good.
cool. And then they made it like all watery.
So good.
And there's just like cartoon dolphin darting.
So good. So that wraps up Johnny Mnemonic. Join us next week when we watch Chain Reaction with Keanu Reeves for our second week in Keanuary.
And this is a movie that I have not seen since it came out, but I liked that movie when it came out, so I'm interested to see whether it holds up.
I never saw it, so there was a period of time
It also
where I really
has
didn't like
the
Keanu
wonderful what's his name from Shawshank Redemption, black man with freckles,
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
I actually
Also-
met that guy. Nice guy. Yeah, he shook my hand.
What else did he
Have
shake?
you washed your hands since?
Nope.
Did he shake that big old donkey dick of yours?
I was like, hey, you want to shake someone else, big guy? And he was very nice about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some more freckles on your face.
I don't mind if I do, Dusty. Let's see that big old thick hog you got down those pants.
He might be into Dusty. I know he's into younger people.
That's when he got me too.
Well,
yeah.
when you're like that.
And Dusty is only, like 21 thanks to Keanuary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep.
Meanwhile,
I don't
the
look
rest of
at
us are aging.
It's a hard 21, but
those are
Very
city
erect
miles.
21.
Yeah.
Confidence.
it's more like a hard, like beaten on the street kind of 21, you know.
At this point, it's actually,
weathered.
it does more damage to myself to claim that I'm 21. We're like, holy shit.
Oh, man.
no.
Oh.
You're like, so meth?
You need to see a doctor. There's a guy I know, Spider. He can hook you up.
He's a flesh mechanic.
I'm going to start calling myself a flesh mechanic on the dating apps.
Well, I'm definitely a flesh mechanic. I can fix that for you.
Yeah. Ooh, what's that under your eye there? Why don't I take you into the shop? Yeah.
Wait, Dusty, could you do me a favor and say something really offensive?
Learn to read, dummy.
Nah, that wasn't any good.
Your Japanese is horrible. Speak to me in English, which is a quote from the movie.
Your Japanese is horrible. Speak to me in English.
None of this is any good. I was just trying to Dusty.
We need some virtual Dusty stuff.
Dusty likes to pick a moment where one of us says something absolutely horrible, and then before we can even explain it or do anything, he's like, all right, well, that's a great moment to wrap up this episode.
I learned it from watching Fox News. So.
Kills Mike. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Next week, Chain Reaction. And, shout out to Bill Kiley for our intro and outro music.
And shout out to Keanu Reeves, who will be joining us for the review next week.
Yes, he will.
Beautiful.
It's great.
I love Keanu.
He loves Keanuary. And thank you, Shannon, for joining us.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Oh, wait. I have something for the very end of the episode to help celebrate the month of Keanuary. This is every single time Keanu has ever said whoa in a movie. Let's just let it roll for the rest of the podcast. We can take off our headphones.
All right. How long is it?
5 minutes.
Careful!
They named it Cincinnati, so they say.
Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Oh. Whoa! Boxorama! Whoa! Whoa! Excellent. He didn't even card us, dude. Whoa! Yeah! Want a Twinkie, Genghis Khan? Oh, say please. See? Whoa, yeah! Whoa, check it out. Whoa.
How many homers has he hit? I mean, lifetime.
Shit, man. Wow.
Compliments for Mr. Carmichael.
Oh, boy.
Well.
To rise and fall. Well, we're total metalheads.
Whoa.
Whoa! Whoa! Catch you later, Bill and Ted! Whoa! Whoa, yeah! Good one! Whoa! Who's that? Whoa! Whoa! Excellent! Whoa! Thanks, dude. Whoa! Thanks, dude! Yeah! Whoa! Where are we? Whoa, whatever, dude. Whoa. This is most atypical. Whoa. Cool. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, evil breath. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Deja vu.
What did you just say? I'll see you tomorrow then, okay?
Whoa, 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 hold on.
And I cannot keep everybody happy all the time.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 stop, stop, stop. Whoa, stop, stop. Whoa, 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 whoa.